What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we have another regionals report here. As this time we have Chris Collins, who got top 8 at San Jose with his Donphan deck. Now this time around, Chris did include a Jolteon in his deck, and that way he can make his Donphan's Lightning type to help out against the Evital matchup. Because Evital is usually big in California, and I guess that's because of Izura Sosa. I'm going to take a wild guess there. He also played a Hex Maniac, which is very interesting, and we do talk about that a lot. Overall, it's a pretty straightforward Donphan deck we've seen all during last year. You know, heavy focus Sash to help out against Vessel Queen here. But hopefully you enjoy this deck, and let's see the interview. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we're doing another regionals question and answer, and this time around we have Chris. And Chris, what regionals did you play in?
I played in the San Jose Regionals.
San Jose regions. All right. So we know that you played the Donphan Hawlucha, and I guess the Jolteon. Not really much the Evolution. But before we talk about your deck and everything, what decks did you play against, and how did they go?
So with a total of me playing 15 rounds, this is gonna take a little time,
That's
and
okay.
I'm not sure if if I can remember all of them, but I'll try.
Okay.
Uh, so round one, I'm up against an Evil Tall deck. This is piloted by Jake Kuros. I think he won SoCal Regionals last year, if I'm not mistaken, or something with fairies. And he 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 was playing Archeops and stuff. So if you look at my list, I'm not actually playing Wobbuffet in it like a lot of the other lists were. So this is like when he was playing Archeops, and he got turn one twice against me. So I was really scared. But I realized that in that matchup, if you just use Hawlucha, you're usually fine for the most part because you can just like flying press. But you have to have very timely like Lysanders on their Evil Talls, Shamans, Jirachis, stuff like that. But I was able to. I lost the first game pretty quickly because I was just like, I don't know how to play this matchup, and I just kind of like learned as I went along. I hadn't played that matchup much. Actually, I played one game before the tournament with Donphan, and then I played one game before the tournament with Donphan because I was set on Mega Manetric Garbodor for a little bit, but I was just like, nah, I don't think that's a good play anymore because I didn't like its best equipped matchup. It was really shaky.
Yeah.
But Donphan, it seemed to have really good matchups across the board. So I won against Jake, and then round two, I'm up against the Toad Giratina, and Toad Giratina is a pretty tough matchup for me usually, with their Giratina having to shut off the stadium, the special energy, and the tools. But usually after a while, like if you can just get like a Bangle turn one on your Fampi, you're usually fine because you can just Spain turn for 70 and eventually knock out their Giratina, even with super scoop ups. Also, this player wasn't like totally sure what he was doing with the deck. Like I saw him make some iffy plays, and he also only got like one Giratina set up a game, which is very questionable. And once I got rid of that first Giratina, it was just over because I would just like run him out of resources and stuff. Round three, uh, I'm up against Manetric Garbodor. This seems like a good matchup for me overall. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, fighting beats electric,
Yeah,
but
true.
uh, what I want to talk about is your ability to rough seize a Donphan with yeah, you can rough
Oh,
seize
with
a Donphan
Jolteon. Yeah, yeah,
and you
true.
can get out the Jolteon, and it's a little bit hilarious because one game he would overrun my Donphan because it had the sashes on them. I like putting my sashes on my Hawluchas usually, but I was at that moot point one time in the game where or no. He was aiming for like a tool drop knockout on me with my on the Donphan, but like and so he would like overrun, but he had the rough seas out and I had the Jolteon out, so I was like, okay, I'll rough seas, and then he just like flipped the table pretty much at that point. It was pretty hilarious, but that was a pretty easy win for me. So I'm 3-0 at this point. Round four, I'm up against I don't think I can remember. I'm up against Evil Tall again.
Okay.
This is a pretty. He didn't play Archeops, I don't think, in his list. Or if he did, he didn't get it out turn one like this hit my round one opponent did. And I was able to. It was a really long game one, and I was just able to like kind of like play the slow game and just go for the one win. And that's really how it turned out to be. Uh, round five. Um, I'm up against. I can't remember what I was up against.
Must have
This
been easy
is
2-0.
I'm not sure actually. It might come back to me later,
Okay.
but for now I'll go to round six. Round six, I'm up against the Vespa deck, piloted by Colin Coyle, and this was like it was an easy 2-0 because I dead drew one of the games, but we also had a really iffy situation where uh, the baiting, so to say, where he would reverse the seeker for the N. I heard him say play N, but when I started shuffling N, and he said I didn't say it, and it took a little bit of debate, but eventually he just did it anyways, and it was really weird. But the matchup's overall pretty good for me because if you could sash your Donphans and you just like two shot them, you usually just like run them out of the Lysanders, and you're just able to win from there usually.
True.
Um, and then round seven, I'm up against another Evil Tall deck again. As you can see, Evil Tall was it was one of my big opponents during the whole entire weekend. I mean, that's exactly what I was expecting going to the weekend. So Cal is really known for their Evil Tall, and just like going in, I'm like, I have to beat Evil Tall in this event. There's no way that I cannot beat Evil Tall, even if it's not going to do well day two. I need to get past them day one. It just has to be that way. And so round seven, I'm up against another Evil Tall, and that was a pretty easy win for me because it was just I just went for the 1-0 victory once again because even though I win the long game, it's a very long game usually against Evil Tall players. So I went for the 1-0 there. So at this point, I'm 7-0 in the tournament, and then I'm round eight. I'm up against the mirror matchup, and I got down paired to the 601, of course, because I was the last 7-0 remaining.
Okay.
But it was Justin Poyce. He eventually got top eight with me at the event. But he's a really good player, and I knew that the matchup was really just going to come down to who won the coin flip, and he did. And it would have been smart for me to do something like I'll scoop my game one early on and just go for the tie at this point. That was probably the better play, but he just got the 1-0 victory on me, and it was pretty easy. And then round eight, I'm up against round nine. I'm up against Bodie Tracy, who he got second at the whole event, and he's playing Speed Quaza with the Hex and the guesses and everything like that. Xander thing. We decided to ID, and the reason why is going into day two, my math would have to work out to be I go 2-1-2 to make top eight, or if I win against him, I have to win two games and the next day. So either way, whether I tied or I won, I would have to win two games the next day. And considering the fact that I was this deck ties a lot because its games are so long, and usually if it doesn't win, it ties a lot. Uh, and so I knew that I was comfortable going with a 2-1-2 because I could take a few ties, I could take a loss, and then still make top eight. And then so going into day two, round one, or I guess round 10, technically, I'm up against Bodie again, of course. Of course, we actually played this matchup out, and it was he won the game, but barely. Like we were like on turn 3 of time, barely.
Okay. So you just pulled out right then.
Yeah. But what happened? Like it's a good matchup for me, or not a good matchup. I'd say it's 50-50. But like game one, I got a really good setup on him, and with my focus sashes and with my robos and haluchas, it's really hard for him to pull a game on me. So I was able to like take a very long game one. Game two, I dead drew. So he was able to take it pretty easily. And then game three, my setup was a little shaky. So, but it was fine considering I had one or two sashes on board. I had a Donphan and like two Holliges, something like that, and the rest were Robos. Um, but it was fine. But then he got really good Lysanders on me, and it was really very scary to go up against. Like I was in some like situations where like I needed to draw cards, yeah, I needed a sash, so I had to like draw cards, but I didn't like draw like a sash or something like that, and it was really hard for me to pull out the game. And so it really just came down to me like not getting like a ideal setup. So I lost that game, and round 11, I'm up against Christy Britton, I believe. Yeah, and she's playing Night March, and this is pretty good. And with her not playing Archeops, this is a pretty easy matchup for me. Just sash the Donphans, and then set up a Donphan with two Strongs, and then just fade turn the Pumpkaboos eventually to get them. And that was a pretty easy 2-0. Round 12, I believe. I'm up against, let's see, yeah, I'm up against Dallin Fell. He got top 8 at the whole event, and he played Groudon, and it was. Oh, that's why I played round 5. That's why I played round 5.
Okay, there you go.
I played against Dallin Fell, and I won against him because I just ran him out of resources, and I was able to pull out because he wasn't sure if I played 2 muscle bands because John Eng's list he played only 1 muscle band in it. He's probably referencing it off his list from Fort Wayne, of course. Fort Wayne? No, Lancaster.
Lancaster, yeah.
It was from, yeah. Because John Eng's list from Lancaster only played 1 muscle band, and I was able to pull out the win and get the 1-0 victory on Dallin that way. But going into round 12, I play against him again, and it went a little bit differently. And he was able to, and we both got really solid setups, so it was interesting. But he knew my list a little bit more, and I wasn't able to get like these huge spinning turns off against him really well. And it was like a really like that matchup is so hard to play as a Donphan player and as a Groudon player, of course. But like I feel like I did my math wrong in that matchup, and so we didn't even finish a single game in 50 minutes, and we ended up tying. So right now I'm 1-1-1. Need to go 2-1-2 to make top 8.
Yeah.
And so round 14, no, not round 14, round 13. I'm up against Kianamini, and he's playing Vespiquen and Flareon, and this is a very good matchup for me. So game 1, I pretty much slaughtered him, but game 2, he drew into. I think he told me he drew into like 2 DCEs, 3 Vespiquens, and some Versus Seekers or something like that as his opening hand, and he just lost from there. So right now I'm 2-1-1, and I need to ID my last one. And round 14, I ID with Mark Garcia. And he was playing the Totemetric Bats. He won the whole thing overall. And so I went into top 8. I'm the 4th seed. Somehow I got a awesome 72 win percentage. That was really awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm up against Marshall Carey, I believe his name was, and he's Marshall Carey, and he's playing Archie Stoys. And I knew it was a little bit of a shaky matchup for me because I wasn't playing Wobbuffet or anything like that. But I knew I could win it with like a late game end and then just like draw him into nothing really. But he really out pressured me like both of the games. He also played a Tool Scrapper, which did not help at all. Oh, that was what got me. Like the Tool Scrapper was just that was my tournament right there. When I saw him play the Tool Scrapper game 1, I'm like, I can't take a series on him. And that's how my tournament went. Got top 8 overall. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Maybe but top 8 at regional is still very great, especially with Donphan because I mean I don't think there's been any other masters who've played it except for this weekend. And not that I don't remember any like they made cut, so that's great.
No, but it made really cut.
Yeah.
I don't think we even got a day 2 out of Donphan until this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So that's great that I guess it's weird to say that Donphan was a rogue deck, but I mean nobody really expected it.
It was past its prime according to others, but I mean John Eng got top 4 within in seniors, so it was definitely worth a look. And he did play the Jolteon, and I'm like, okay, this could work. So
Okay. I guess the very first question is why did you decide to play the Donphan deck?
I kind of went a little bit into detail already about it, but like I was uh I was really set on playing Manectric Garb this weekend, but I decided last minute to just change to the Donphan because I was just like I feel like I've piloted it enough that I know how to play the matchups okay. So I felt like even though I haven't played a single game with this deck, I feel like it's the right call for this tournament, and if I can dodge the Toad Bats, I'm gonna do really well with this tournament.
Okay, all right. So in your list, you played the Focus Ash, you played the Silver Bengals, you played the Muscle Band. But how do you determine which tools to put down on which Pokemon? We heard sometimes you say you put the Focus Ash on Donphan, sometimes you put down the Hawluchas. But how do you determine like which what gets what tools?
Well, it really is a it. This is a very like math based deck, and it's really hard to play. You really have to know your matchups with this deck. So for example, like things against things like Night March and Vespiquen, you absolutely want to put your focus ashes on the Donphan, so much that you want to search them out to put them on the Donphans because they do run a lot of outs to the Lysanders. Like Vespiquen usually runs 6 outs, Night March 5 or 6 outs themselves, and they have the Valor Compressor versus Seeker, you know. But and you need to get out like the focus ashes as soon as possible, and then just get to the point where you're one shotting or two shotting what you need to. Like for example, like I was saying before, you put the two strong from the Donphan in the focus sash, and you're able to one shot the pump caboose with ease, and then you just aim to two shot the Vespiquen to the player.
Okay, all right. I guess the next question is: we see that you play a Hex Maniac in your deck. What were you trying to shut down with the Hex Maniac?
It was just in the case that I can evolve one or two Donphans under Archeops. That was really the only reason I ran it. And I was basing my list off John Ang's list from Lancaster. And what I decided to do was cut the Wobbuffet in the Floatstone line because without it, without the Wobbuffet, I had no need for the Floatstone because Jolteon had a free retreat, Halucha had a free retreat, and Donphan's your attacker anyways. And so I was just able to cut the Flowstone swap effects for one Muscle Band, one Fighting Energy, one Hawlucha, and then the Hex Maniac just in case I need to shut off abilities. I didn't use Hex Maniac much, and it was more of just like you're already winning card, and I would cut it if I went back.
Okay. All right. You talk about how you would cut it going back into the tournament. What else would you cut from the list, and what cards would you add to it?
Uh, Besides that, I really wouldn't cut anything. But I could see me cutting the super rod for a Bunnelby. That's a very possible option. But it's also just like a Lysander. It's an easy Lysander target, and then but yes, being able to like burrow your opponent sometimes when they're playing like a very fast deck, or being able to like Rototiller back in strong and burst secrets is very powerful. But at the same time, when you're playing Jolteon and Eviltal knocks out your Jolteon, the super rod's nice too.
Very true. Now, was the Jolteon only used for the Evital matchups, or was there anything else it could be helpful for?
Well, pretty much for the Eviltal matchups. That was the main reason I ran it. And I mean, also I said during my Manectric matchup, I was able to use the Rough Seas with the Donphan. That was very it was a little cheeky to say the least. But yeah, I decided to set it up just because I could Rough Seas and they weren't gonna set up a Garbodor usually because I want to use Tool Drop most of their game. But
Okay.
besides that, yes, it's just for the Eviltal, but it really helps in the Eviltal at least.
Yeah, that's very true. All right. Now, besides the Toad Bats deck, which is pretty much like an auto loss, what would you say it's like? It's really hard matchups. Now, I know you said Science Toad Guillotine as well, but is there any others? Do you think they're like a horrible matchup?
Sagittarius Giratina is it's not horrible, but it's like a good like 45. No, not 45. 40 60. Like it's like it's barely bad, but it's winnable for sure. Uh, my other bad matchups. Anything that can really like put like I was saying in my top 8 match where I was just like up against the Archie Stoids with the Tool Scrappers. That's a really hard matchup for me, especially without Wobbuffet. and that's because they were just able to like put up an Articuno and just attack with that. No Keldeo, no nothing. So I had to like try going for a two-shot on it. I wasn't gonna one-shot it unless I, by some miracle, pulled out a wreck from my side of the field. But like, I don't think I wrecked once the whole weekend though. So
Okay, all right. Now, would you say if, like, let's say the Vessel Queen player plays a Toll Scrapper, do you think that changes the matchup some, or do you think it's still like a very winnable matchup?
it's winnable for sure. But it does help in the matchup a lot
Mm,
because, but it means that I have to set up a little bit more like I need to set up like a second Donphan or I need to do something like that. But it's still very winnable. It's just like the focus sash is just pulling over the edge.
okay, that's very true. All right, now coming up into cities, are you if the cities are expanded, are you still going to stick with Donphan, or are you thinking about switching something else?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure what anything in Breakthrough does quite yet. I know Floodstone and Max Potion are getting reprinted, but that it doesn't really affect the expanded format. So I'm not quite sure. My my first instinct is it's an option for me.
Okay, all right. So how many championship points you at right now?
Are we counting like world's points and stuff?
Yeah, if you want to, you can. That's fine.
Okay. I'll count world's points, I guess.
Okay.
So I believe I'm at 202 championship points with world's points.
All right. Well, very nice. All right. So hopefully only what 88 more to go. If it is 300, I guess we still don't know yet. It's a mystery. Thanks, Pokemon. Like, no.
Uh,
But
I don't.
wait.
I'm just. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Before this weekend, I was just like, I'm probably just gonna go for the day one invite. Now it's mixed in my mind right now. So
To go for the top 16 again.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody?
Plenty of shout outs. Well, not plenty, but quite a few. Shout out to John Ang. He helped me like master the deck before the day before the tournament, and just in case I did want to play it, and I did play it. Uh, and shout out to Bodie Tracy. He helped test with me the night before. He also got second at the event, so big props to him. And then just shout out to Team Otter Chops. It's a new thing that we're starting up with me, Finnegan Lynch, Daniel Altavilla, Jeffrey Chang, all those guys. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Alrighty, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview. Congrats on getting top 8. I know what we saw you multiple times already doing reports for states, and hopefully we'll continue that trend when states come around. Good luck at cities as
That's,
well. Hopefully you get your invite to cities. That'd be pretty cool.
I hope so too. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right, man. You're welcome. Well, hope you have a great day. Thanks for everybody watching. Hope you have a great day. Alrighty. Bye.